Hi Mops, my first day's camping was at Pendine, first day of the trip. A lovely person came there, let us camp for free, and was really kind, and it was a lovely little place. I'd only done about 10 miles, but I was totally exhausted. That was what it was. It just did me in a bit. But it was a great place. Night 2, well, that was at Senna. I managed to get a beer in a pub because I was choking. Hale, that was a different sort of a place. A couple of pipes went on my tent. Cowan, and this was on the lawn. Lovely girl let me stay on the lawn on that outside that bungalow. Brilliant. Fantastic place. Nice person. Gives a cup of tea, as you say. Painting the unicorn on the beach as well at night. And tea at Smith's. It was a nice place. Holywell, that was a really good place as well, because I was looked after by the park team guys. They let me stay for free. I managed to go and get some entertainment. Really had a good night at Holywell. Aston Villa fans, Magworth Port. Let me think about Magworth Port. The lady from Leeds was there, and she helped us out and gave us half price. In fact, it was free. Wadebridge, a long walk to Wadebridge. Up in the old campsite. Paid full price. Stayed the night okay. It was right up a steep hill, so I decided not to bother going out that night later on. As you do. It was okay. Little Belvedere. Tintagnell, I was going to stay at the youth hostel. It was closed. I ended up scrabbling around in amongst the long grass and eventually stuck a tent beside the church and walked into the town, and at the last minute fish and chips. Very lucky to get anything that night. Penny Crocker. After a few pints in the pub down the road, went up there. The guy came on his motorbike and showed us where to go. Paid full price, it was only a tenner, and it was a great place. Bude. Again, up on the hill after being rejected by one campsite. Met Mark Patterson. Great night. It was okay. Finally getting rid of me whooping cough by then, which was great. Night 11, after a long walk through the countryside, found this place in the middle of nowhere. And what a place it was. It was beautiful. And it was free. Really enjoyed my night there. Great place. This place was slightly different. I took a trail, went into there. Dodgy old people there. The bloke in the brewery was a nightmare. He was really jumpy. He got himself really annoyed for nothing. His beer was good. I'd misunderstood what I was told. Night 13, after a night of beers in the pub, after a very, very long walk, I wildcamped up this hill. I slept alright up the hill because I had a few beers in the back of Venus. Getting ready for a long walk the next day after the Black Venus. Exmoor wild camp again, right up in the middle of nowhere, and getting pretty near to the top of Exmoor really, but near the barrow there. The next night, the Valiant Soldier went in there, and oh my God, so that was a good place. I was really treated well, looked after, camped in behind there, and got a free tea and something. Well, I bought for his tea, but breakfast was next morning fantastic. Oh, Sarah, you were the best. And you up in the Cornock Hills after a long day's walk, found a wild camping spot. The less you say, the better. Camped, did the job. Next morning was, there you go. A few ponies, I could hear them at night, but met a couple of them the next day. And then through towards Bridgewater, and this is where night 17. Do not ever go to this place. The person there was an absolute cow. I'm not joking. I ended up camping in a farmer's field in some long grass. I'd phoned her twice. She said that she'd measured it back, but I didn't bloody know. I was walking. Never again. Don't go to Nut Tree Farm, my opinion. Cheddar. Okay, nice campsite. Great people there. Enjoyed me night. Met some nice people. Had a Old Peculiar, I think, bottle of that night. Lovely. Nice little place at Cheddar. Getting ready for yet another huge day the next day. All the way to past Yatna, Clevedon, to the Bullock Farm. Guy there was nice, spoke to him. Shop was shut, but not to worry. I'd been not with the other people at the campsite. Paid full price, but it was okay. It was a good place, and it made it handy for the next day. Which was in a field beside the M5 through that gate. In a tent, as usual, obviously. After wondering where to go, I ended up there, and I had a look along here, had a couple of bags of crisps and a couple of pints and a bit of nana. Now the next night, after going all the way through, this was Chelms. It was in this wood, and it was really creepy. It was on top of Office Dyke, near the site of a battle, and it just looks creepy in the video. It bloody was. I could hear everything. Next night, Monmouth, lovely little campsite. Some lovely people helped us, cook me tea for us, cook my tea in their thing, so that I could save me the hassle. Mono Bridge, nice place. Good, nice people. Lady was nice, charged everything, spot on. Good place. Liked it. Onwards, to Pandy, over the hills, long old walk, got to Pandy. It was just like oasis in the desert. Nice meal in the pub, nice campsite, people were okay. Bit dodgy at first, but they got you over it. And they were alright. Full price, but it was, facilities were good. Next day, huge long walk to here on Wye, and it was a wild camp in the field when I got there, because just nowhere there. Little bite to eat in Blue Bar. Here on Wye was a nice place, had a nice breakfast next morning. There we go. Okay, here on Wye. Onwards from here on Wye, it was to Kington. At Kington, I stayed 2 nights, next to the river. Great welcome at the campsite, well looked after. I needed a day off, went to this pub, the Royal Oak, enjoyed myself in there, just liked it. Went there, stayed there 2 days. My first day off, sat beside the River Arrow, fantastic, there you go, cool the feet. The next one is Knighton, Papwinton Farm, the last day on Office Dyke. Papwinton Farm was through Knighton slightly, in the middle of nowhere really to that. Next to a railway line, past this on the way. Good campsite, some Dutch people, I think the Dutch helped us out a lot. Gives the idea I must buy an electric pump for my airbed, because I've been blown up by hand all the time. Next day, I ended up at Ashton Clun in a little campsite, can't think its name. But I went to the Kangaroo Inn and had a brilliant night. Fantastic. Also, the people were very, very helpful there too. Wayside Camping it was called. Yeah. Wayside Camping. Very good. No problem. They let me off the price as well. Brilliant people. Next night, it started raining on my way up through, and I ended up in the middle of nowhere. Found this really 1960s weird campsite. Easthope Farm, where actually nobody camps anymore. But the farm let us camp. It honestly was weird, but electric facilities, everything you needed. What more could you say? I just can't be saying that blue thing there, the cover. Easthope Farm, fantastic. Iron Bridge the next day. Went to Iron Bridge, had a few beers to celebrate after I got over the bridge. Then told by the barmaid where the campsite was. Paid full price, was up a very steep hill, but it was okay when I got there. Can't complain. Iron Gorge camping. Yeah, that was Iron Gorge. Anyway, White Pub Peter, he looked after us there. He was a great guy, the farmer there. Worked hard, he does. And he keeps a good little site. Can I say it? Lovely little guy. Sleeps in his camper van. Looks after the place. He runs it himself and he makes a great job. He's a nice guy. Does everything for you. It's a great little place. Nice view. Nice place to camp. Recommend both of them. I couldn't complain. Sarah's place, definitely would recommend. Meadow on the road, walking past the farm. Next thing, I'm camping in the orchard. I've got a can of beer and food, and I got some breakfast next day. Thanks very much, Sarah. You're an absolute angel. Thank you. Ashbourne, met the Sutton and Barbara. Helped us sort out my camping. Fabulous people. Great people. Thank you. Much thanks. And I had a beer down there too. Miss Snow Patrol. Never mind. Next day, off we went. And we got to, where was it? Parwich, yeah. Goslin's Farm. Again, great little campsite. great help. Never complain about a thing. Brilliant, nice people. Bang on. Yep, nice little place. Nice meal the night before as well. Turned out his a daughter actually ran that pub at one point. The next day was a case, should I go towards Chatsworth or should I go up the Pennine Way? Instead, I turned left and went towards Moneyash to go on the Pennine Way. Moneyash was okay. Very lively campsite, good facilities though. Nice little pub along the road, loves Morris dances. Peak Forest, nutcase there. He shouted and bawled. I was in there, just in there. Strange character, barely money, he gave us a can of beer, but he was a very strange character. Ideal, lovely night there. Busy again, obviously, beginning of the Pennine Way. And there I am, ready to go on the Pennine Way. Enjoyed the night, lots of good talking, and ready for the next day. Crowden, a long walk to Crowden, and when I got there, the midges were everywhere. The actual campsite and the people there were spot on, but my God, the midges that night were unreal. And another next day, huge day off to Crowden, which ended up at Marston, and stayed in the pub, up above the pub in the New Inn, 40 nights about, so one night of a treat, a good bath, sleep, no beer, stayed in the room all night, got up, had my breakfast next day. Really, after such a long wet day, it was just heaven to go in somewhere like that. After 40 days of a tent, you needed something. So that was the New Inn, and thanks, they were brilliant at the New Inn. The guy was great. May's shop, also brilliant. She is some age, but she has a great little shop, everything you want there, and she lets you camp just up on the right above it. So you spend the night there for free, and you can have a cup of tea. She also gives a donation, and you can get stocked up. Fantastic place. I'd recommend it. Go there. After that, it was out of there again, and to Wuthering Heights, where I met quite a lot of the locals at Stanbury. Camped at the Wuthering Heights pub. Good facilities again. Did the job, no problem. Quite a lot of beer because that night at the Monday Night Club and also the other place, but lovely people, haven't forgotten them, we'll go back. Nice campsite. Earby, I went to the youth hostel because I'd been in a thunderstorm all day. This is a Pennine Way sign I first ever saw years ago, which encouraged us to stick to the Pennine Way that day. The youth hostel was good because it saved us a lot of hassle.
There you go.
After being drenched, and proof of payment there. Did the job. Next morning, up over the hills, along the canals to Malham. Quite a long walk. Malham Farm was good. Couldn't complain. Bit of a walk down the hill back into the village for about eating a pint, but it was okay. Can't complain. Enjoyed it. It was okay. Next morning, up past the cove, over the hills to Horton and Ribblesdale. Another nice campsite, very busy, heaving in fact, really. A lot of people there. England were playing that night in the European Championships as well, so there was quite a lot of noise going on, but it was a nice campsite, and set us up to go to Hawes the next day, which was a long walk again, just outside the village, Bembridge Ings, but easy enough to walk into Hawes. The facilities there were very good. It wasn't the cheapest place. Tarnhill, well, make a donation, stick your tents outside, come watch a live band, have a few beers, meet the locals, have a good night. No problem at all. Tarnhill, love it. Next day I went over the hills towards Middleton and went to stay at home for 2 nights, where when my brother came and picked us up, Paddy Pal at the pub, the Gribble, recommend it, maybe not be going there though. And just a couple of days chilling, friends, says Debbie and Jeff, and just the next day off to land and back. Another night with a few beers, more friends. Thanks to Ping for your help. You were really good help that day, man. Thank you very much. Let's camp there for free. Give a beautiful donation. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jane. Thank you. And Ulster Youth Hostel again after another wet day and nowhere to camp really at Ulster, so Youth Hostel is perfect for the job. Well run, nice, clean, tidy, bang on place. Can't complain. Recommend it. It's fine. Next day, my friend Paul, I stayed at his place on the way through. That was Paul's dog. Thanks, Paul. Nice meal. Fantastic. Few beers. Good natter. Bit blasting guitars. Next day, Twice Brewed in. Stephen, friend again, Stephen Blair, looks after the Twice Brewed and looked after me incredibly. There was a music festival on, so that made it even better. Another heavy day then. Next day, though, on the way to Belgium next day. But at least I had a walking companion this time because my friend Howard turned up to walk with us, so that made all the difference. It helped a hell of a lot. Long trudge through to Belgium, meal achieved in, camped at Timmins Farm, good campsite, as was, by the way, Twice Brewed. Timmins Farm, right in the village, perfect, ideal. Reasonable and facilities good again, do the job. All the facilities have been okay. Not looking for brilliantness. Burness, what a good little place. Just camped in the garden, got a breakfast there. Well looked after at Burness. Absolutely great. Forest view. Really good place if you're walking and going through there. I recommend stay at Forest View. They were well looked after there. Absolutely, really well looked after. It was wild camp time from then because we're going to Pencook and over the top of the Cheviots, made it over them. That was the main thing. Howard had now just gone to helping us by dropping stuff off for us, but he did walk them other 2 days. Then to Maxton, Village Green to camp at Maxton after the wild camp at Pencook. Did the job though, Maxton. Right there beside the little football pitch. Wild camp. Hang on. And then needed facilities again for another wash and tidy up. So Melrose, in the middle of Melrose, great facilities. And these guys, the guys the next day at the baguette shop really looked after us, gave us some stuff to take with us and would not let me pay. Walkerville, the locals gave me so much stuff there, it was unreal. Well, that's not even half of it. Camped on a rugby pitch at Walkerville. Walked along the River Tweed banks most of the way there. It's a long walk it was. People's back to the rain, and really the rain really got strong that night. That was Rab, by the way, who told us where to park there. Another wild camp and a really wet night. Getting worried it was going to flood, to be honest. Just West Linton, another wild camp. This is the farmer's field, just as you came into the village after crossing the hills to get there. No problem. Now East Calder, that was Stuart's place. I met him looking for somewhere to camp, and he said he could stay at his place. In Lithgow, raining again in the farm there, just across the motorway. It was all right. I wouldn't say it was brilliant. Back to the wild camp again, Falkirk. In the woods.
Yes, here it is.
And I mean in the woods beside the canal. This is me returning to it.
Has anybody been at it?
After watching the England game.
Bit daylight here, you see.
Yes.
That slight green thing is the tent.
Pretty creepy, to put it mildly. But luckily woke up next morning still in one piece. Which is the main thing, isn't it? Very well. Next day, off we went again to Chuga. Chuga, nice people there, nice little shop. Again, just camped on the grass in the village. Next morning, a guy gave us, there's a place up there, which is an outbound place, which I got some spare tent pegs the next morning. Blenfield Thistle was beside Strathbrain. Went to watch the football. Camped in there. I was told there was no horses in this field by a woman. There was. Kept us up all night. Camped in that field. It was scary. Enjoyed the football. And up towards Connick Hill, right in the middle of nowhere, and a great little campsite at the top of Connick Hill. There it is. Well, not quite to Connick Hill. Right on the West Highland Way. As you can see, the path going past. People were walking past us in the morning, even though I was up pretty early. They were off earlier. That was Connick Hill.
Nice little
just
site.
Hilltop there. Not long to Conical from there. Been a long walk that day from Strathblaine. Next to it, the Clansman and Rodian, and beside the youth hostel again, but just camped there. Got a breakfast and shower next morning. Americans there. Amazing stories, but I can't tell them on this. Onwards we went again from there to Vineglass, which was an absolutely beautiful campsite. Had everything there. Really was bang on that place. Grill, bar, place to eat, restaurant, sit outside, shop. It had everything. Best campsite of the walk so far, beyond a doubt. Fantastic place. It had everything for everyone. It was geared for the West Highland Way. Tyndrum, wild camping again, up on the back edge, outside the village, but in the village there was a Green Welly shop. There was also the Tyndrum Inn, so you could have something to eat. You could also go Green Welly. Went there for breakfast next morning. Inverrowing, over the hills and far away, in the middle of nowhere, is the Inverrowing Hotel, which you can't camp at. But you're welcome just round the corner. You can go there for a meal. You can use the facilities at night, but in the morning they were closed, which was not very handy, but I managed. It was just a wild camp next to the river. It was okay, quite a few people there. I had to go to Glencoe Mountain Resort the next night because again we had absolute horrendous rain. I needed to go somewhere, try and get somewhere where I can get dried out, and that worked out for me. Strange way of paying for it, probably needn't have, but I did. So the guy next to us, there was a motorbikers turned up at night and blasted music all night, which was pretty pain in the arse really. So the next night, Kinlochleven, again, really noisy. Glen Nevis, good campsite. Couldn't complain about Glen Nevis. Okay there. Did the job, but again, we had a bit of rain. I thought, well, let's just get ourselves to Great Glenway and get away from all this rain. Hopefully it'll dry out. And it did. Get lucky that night, dry. And there was facilities to washing machines and things there. It was free camping. Lag and Docks, same again. Facilities there, free camping. I had Howard with us this day. Howard was back, which was a big help. It was okay, Lag and Docks. Scenery was beautiful around there. You could camp there. Fort Augustus, found a field just down the road where the little yellow marker is, and used it for 2 nights. Very close to where the Grand Tour had their tent when they were up there. I stayed there 2 nights because I was able to get backwards forwards Howard. Look this bay after that, back on my own again. Another good campsite. Not the cheapest, but I needed facilities again by then, so in the night, this table got disappeared by this guy and his family. Pinched it during the night and had a party. Again, more noise, but we made up in the morning. And the next day, wild camping.
I was walking up by them guys.
And, that's where I was, in the middle of the woods. Good little wild camp, though. Did the job in the trees, nice and sheltered. And then underneath after walking through Inverness the next day, underneath the suspension bridge, just as you go on the left as you cross the bridge, down there next to in the little village, edge of the village, beautiful little place. Next day, Avanton, leaving out in an industrial estate, found some grass round the back of a plumber's merchants and just used that. A little bit of grass in the woods, some houses attained where the yellow marker is again. Just wandered into town, wild camped on the grass, nobody said a word, perfectly happy. Beautiful the next night, Lockfleet, in a farmer's field. Again, nobody bothered us. Beautiful wild camping setup. Could hear the seals at night. It was brilliant. It set us up for the next day to walk towards Brora, where I met some people. I just can't think of the name of the guy. He was brilliant. He gave us a cup of tea in the morning. The locals there were fantastic. He even lent us a camp bed, which I brought back later. Helmsdale, looking everywhere for one that comes to campsite, ended up this little place on the top, wild camping above the cemetery. I called it Boot Hill, but it was a good little campsite. Quiet, no bothers. Went into Helmsdale, used the facilities in the morning. The park at Dunbeath, did the job again, just parked in the children's campsite. It rained,
The next day, I went up and camped with some people's friends, my friends, Holburycroft. Peter, thank you very much for letting us camp there. It was a great little place and everything you wanted again. Thanks a lot, Peter. Fantastic. One of my friends. Then 2 nights in Wick, because by then we had John Hughes up. There's John up helping us, and Alec Murray later on. And so I was able to use that for 2 nights while John comes around. And the next day, there we are.